This week sees the release of Espire 2, a VR game exclusive to the Quest 2, and after working on the game for a period, I wanted to congratulate the team at Digital Lode in getting it over the finish line and releasing the title, and also just to give some exposure to it as well. In Espire 2, players take on a terrorist organisation hell-bent on crippling the world, and your job is to command the robot Espire units to sneak into enemy territory and wipe them out. It's a pure stealth game, done in VR, with a lot of inspiration taken from the likes of GoldenEye and Splinter Cell. Can't knock that, now can we? Espire 2 is developed by Digital Lode, a game studio based out in Melbourne in Australia, and I had the pleasure of consulting with the team for a period in 2021 during early development. It was actually a weird set of circumstances that led to my working on this project actually. Back in early 2020, right before the COVID lockdowns, I was invited to be involved in the Golden Era documentary about the making of GoldenEye 007, which came out earlier this year in 2022. And it just so happened that the director of Golden Era had been working for Digital Lode at the time as part of the production team on Espire 2. This then led to my name being recommended to the studio as someone who could provide some input on the design of the enemies as they sought to rebuild and redesign many of their core systems for the sequel. So it just goes to show how you wind up working in this industry can arise from weird and wonderful coincidences. I'm very excited to give this a shot now that it's out. I came onto the project during early development to give some guidance on how to iterate the AI design for the sequel. As is the nature of these sorts of things, I've no idea what the final version of the game looks like. I wrapped up working with the studio at the end of 2021 as the game had reached campaign complete, which means that the devs had a rough version of the entire game that you could play from start to finish, and then they work on improving and polishing it for a final release. It was fun to work on the very early builds of the game as the programming and design teams revamped a lot of the core mechanics and the enemy AI to boot. There's a lot of new mechanics in this one. The main focus was the different Espire units to control, allowing for more combat or stealth-heavy gameplay, each with their own unique abilities. There's a lot of fun new features that allow you to interact with the AI in interesting ways, like the Espire vision showing patrol routes, being able to stuff dead bodies in lockers, or the new distraction tool that you power with your own voice. Plus the team expanded the interrogation stuff as well. It'll be interesting to see how it all came together and how it was all balanced, given we did have a point in the early alpha build where the AI became a real challenge to overcome, even for us who were playing the game almost daily. Naturally, balancing that sort of thing is never an easy prospect, and I hope it went well. Plus there's co-op, and that's super interesting to me. I actually only got to play the multiplayer when it was in a very early phase, and it was also the first time I'd ever played a VR multiplayer experience, but it was hilarious, and it was already a lot of fun, even in its very rough state. So yeah, I'm keen to boot up the Quest 2 again and give it another look. It was great to get to work with the team over at Digital Lode, even if our time difference often meant meetings were either very early or very late in the day. And I want to congratulate them on the launch and wish them all the best. But yeah, if you have a Quest 2, go check it out. And if you're thinking, hey, can Tommy come and work on our games? I've left the links in the description where you can find out more. Have a good one, folks.